Good day and welcome. I was just speaking with a neighbor, and she was walking by taking her dog to the dog park, and she was in a funk. And I could tell she was in a funk. And this is being recorded actually on December 7th, 2020. And this is the first day of re-lockdown in California and apparently in other parts of the country, as well as I read today that France is pulling the plug and going back into more restrictions. And I was on an online meeting this morning, and you could tell that people were, it was hitting them again. And I want to talk about that. I don't know where this is all going to go, but I just want to talk about being just being with it. And just to give you a little bit of backstory in terms of my own personal self, I actually think I did a video on something similar to this topic a few days ago. I really don't ever remember my videos anymore. But I will say that that I've noticed something was off in the last few days, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it. But it seems to me that, and I said this to my lovely neighbor, I said, there seems to be a Pall going all over. That garbage truck is backing up and making noise, and I'm just going to go with it. I'm just going to go with it. Which is really kind of what we are all doing right now, which is, I'm just going to go with it. I'm just going to go with it. And I'm going to put it on pause for a moment. That there's a Pall gone over the country once again, certainly here in California. Things are shutting down, and some of it I agree with, and some of it I don't agree with at all. But that doesn't really matter, does it? I know that I'm struggling a little bit with this video, but I have to say that I'm going forward with it anyways, because this is the demonstration of the struggle that we are up against at this particular moment in time. And I just have to really do the best I can. I was saying to my neighbor that I committed to doing 3 things every day back in July. It took me from March to July to get that far along in all of this. And now, since July, I have done these minimal 3 things every single day. And it has made a bit of a difference. Actually, it's made a considerable difference. Now, I started, and that was back in March, with my daily Ho'oponopono practice, which includes doing some writing and then praying over the writing and then ripping it up. And if you would like help on that, please ring me and we'll talk about it. Secondly, I committed to doing French, which I did. I had been doing for quite some time, and continue to do it, and continue to do more in my acquisition of the French language. And then thirdly, I committed to doing these videos. I didn't commit to loading them. I committed to doing them. And so the very first video I did was on June 28th. And I've done a video, except for maybe 1 or 2 days, every single day. Or maybe I've missed a week in total, but I've come really, really close. And so then about 45 or so days ago, I started loading those videos, which was a big deal for me to do that. And so now I am at the point where I do those 3 things every day. And it's gotten to the point where I can't not do those 3 things every day. And that's helping. I will say that's helping. And I'm slowly adding a few more things. I started using my standing desk to learn my French. So I'm actually standing while I'm learning my French. And that's helping with getting some exercise. And then I also bought a mini trampoline, and I'm bouncing every day, and or most every day, and that's helping as well. And when I do that, I'm typically listening to spiritual podcasts so that I can move, so that I can also take what I'm learning or experiencing and share those things with you as well, and share my take on them. So those are some of the actions that I have been taking. And then the rest of it is kind of all up for grabs. And I will say that I'm just beginning, particularly just from talking to my neighbor, as well as when I was on a meeting this morning, on a Zoom meeting, that, I'm picking up on that energy, that Pall, that's kind of encompassing what's going on here right now. You know, it's we typically don't learn lessons without pain, and unfortunately this is a big pain lesson for all of us. I'm not necessarily sure that it will be enough pain for us to shift, but I do think that and it's very unfortunate about what's happening. I, along with everybody else, is incredibly saddened by it all. But in this context, what I try to do on this channel is talk about myself and what I'm up to, and hopefully, for the most part, would not really saying you should do such and such thing. That you take whatever I am saying, and if it relates to you, then maybe there's something there for you to take forward. I do know that these videos have helped me personally tremendously. They have solidified a lot of my beliefs and allowed me to speak my personal truth, whatever that is, at that particular moment in time, because things change. The way I look at things change. I try not to stay static, although I do also, kind of have a few years under my belt, so I can be quite discerning as well. While this may feel, at least from my interpretation, it may feel like I was a little bit off or a little bit out of sorts, I think that was the point of the video. And if you are feeling that, which I pretty much am guaranteed if you're watching this anytime around the time that this is recorded, that you probably are feeling that. And I am acknowledging those feelings. And I hope that you do the same. Because I've watched so many people, even people I'm close to, acknowledge a feeling, have an aha, and then immediately turn 180 degrees and head off another direction. When maybe just a 1 or 2 degree shift to the right, or a 1 or 2 degree shift to the left is all that's necessary. Because if you have any kind of understanding of geometry, 2 degrees off can make a big difference down the road. Regardless, I'm happy to be here today. I'm happy to be on this channel. I'm happy to be speaking. I'm also happy that the sun is behind the clouds today, so that you can see the background that I normally look at when I do a video outside. Pretty nice. Thank you so much for listening today. Merci beaucoup, à bientôt, bonne journée.